Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be trying the new Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Foundation. I picked mine up in two shades. I have medium 80W and medium 100W. I purchased mine on the Ulta website, but they do only offer 29 out of the 42 shades in the range. So you might not find your perfect shade on the Ulta website since they do have less shades on there. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to order this foundation. So I'm going to be trying out this foundation today for the first time. I haven't even swatched them, so hopefully at least one of the shades that I purchased matches me. And I'm also going to be doing a wear test. It is 2:36 p.m. I am getting started a little bit late today, but I figured I would still try this out and wear it for as long as possible. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so looking at the claims of this foundation, I am on the Ulta app right now. It says that the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Foundation is a hydrating foundation that delivers medium buildable coverage with a natural skin finish. That sounds really good to me because I do prefer a medium coverage foundation, and I do like building up my coverage as opposed to going in with a super full coverage foundation. I also do prefer a natural skin finish, so this sounds right up my alley. It's infused with coconut water and hyaluronic acid for hydrated, luminous skin. I don't think I'm sensitive to coconut water, but I think if you're super acne prone, this might be a problem for you. I'm not 100% sure. You might want to look into that in case you're wanting to try this foundation and you do have acne prone or sensitive skin. But for me personally, I do tend to have acne prone skin and my skin is pretty reactive, but I've never had a problem with coconut water. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I do really like hyaluronic acid in my skincare, so the fact that it's in the foundation means it's going to be hydrating. The flexible formula provides undetectable medium to full coverage that lasts all day. So even though they did say it's medium buildable coverage in the beginning of the description, I'm assuming it's medium, but you can build it up to full coverage. It's also vegan, dermatologist tested, oil-free, alcohol-free, and fragrance-free. So all of that sounds really good to me. And by the way, I do have on my glasses for now. I am going to take them off once I start applying the foundation. It's just I have really terrible eyesight, so I figured I would keep them on just while I explain and read everything. All right, so here is the shade medium 80W and here is medium 100W. Medium 80W might be the best match for me right now, but I might have to mix them. All right, so here is the shade medium 80W. I'm bringing it all the way down to my neck. Oh, that actually looks like that might be my perfect match. And then here is medium 100W. I am swatching these terribly on my skin right now. All right, so looking at both of the foundations, I feel like medium 80W looks maybe like half a shade too light for me. So I think I might mix in a tiny bit of medium 100W just to get my perfect match. I think I'm just gonna do one pump of each. I was trying to keep it to just one, but I feel like I'm right in between those two shades. I don't know if they have a shade in between them. I'm gonna have to check on the Ulta and Colourpop websites just so that I can find one shade that matches me. I know I always mix foundations, but this always happens to me. I'm always like right in between two different shades in foundation ranges. So yeah, I hate to have to mix these, but I'm probably just gonna have to do it. I'm gonna apply the E.L.F. Matte Putty Primer on my right side. I do wanna see how this foundation wears over top of this primer because I have been using this one a lot lately. It does keep my makeup in place pretty much the whole day. It also tones down the look of my pores, which I do really need. So I'm gonna apply this on my right side. And then while I let that primer really sink into my skin, I'm gonna start by applying it on my left side where I don't have any primer. I do have a sunscreen on top of my skincare right now. I've really been enjoying the Purito Centella sunscreen. I think that's what it's called. I think it is SPF 50 and it's a chemical sunscreen, which does tend to work really well under makeup. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today. I was gonna do like one half of my face with a brush and one half with a sponge, but I figured that's not really realistic for me. I do tend to go in with a foundation brush first and then I just tap over it with my sponge. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. All right, so I'm gonna take the Real Techniques stipple brush, which has been my go-to foundation brush lately, and then starting with the side that's not primed. Okay, I think that's a really good match. That was one pump of each foundation shade. And if it looks a little bit dark at first, I will balance it out with concealer and powder and all of that. I feel like that blended super easily. I'm not really having to work hard at blending in the foundation or anything. Okay, so that looks really good to me. I feel like I don't even need to go over it with another layer. It's not emphasizing any of my texture. It's not really enhancing my pores either. And I feel like it did a really good job at just evening out my skin tone. But it does have pretty much medium coverage right away, which I personally really like in a foundation. So I'm just gonna apply it to my right side with this same brush. Like I said, it might look a little too deep for me right now, but it will all balance out in the end, I promise. I don't know if I went in with more foundation on my right side, but I feel like it's looking a little bit heavier compared to my left side. Yeah, I feel like I might have gone in with way more foundation on this side, but I do have the E.L.F. Matte Putty Primer on, so that might have been the reason why it looks a little bit heavier since this is a mattifying primer, but I still think it looks really good. I just feel like I need to go over it with my sponge on this side. So I'm gonna take my sponge now. This is my Real Techniques sponge. Okay, that looks a lot better now that I went over it with my sponge. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and actually I'm gonna take a tiny bit more on my left side since I think I went in with more on my right side. I just want to even it out, and then I'm just tapping over it with my sponge again. I am so impressed with this foundation so far. I know this is my first time trying it, and I do tend to change my mind about products pretty quickly, but so far I think it looks really flawless. One layer is pretty much all I needed for the amount of coverage that I like, and I do have some foundation left over. I feel like one pump of each shade was a little too much, so yeah, I do have a little bit left over. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and let you know how everything blended over top of the foundation. So I will be right back. All right, so I went ahead and applied the rest of my makeup. So here is the completed makeup look. The foundation doesn't feel sticky or anything. I feel like it pretty much set. I did apply my Milani Make It Last setting spray to my entire face because I was feeling a little bit powdery. I did notice one really weird thing happening with my cream bronzer. I did apply the Fenty Beauty cream bronzer in the shade Macchiato, which is my favorite cream bronzer at the moment, but I noticed that it turned this really weird gray color on my skin. I did apply it with the Real Techniques stipple brush, which is the brush that I use to apply my foundation. So I don't know if maybe the foundation and cream bronzer mixed kind of weird and turned the bronzer into a gray shade. I don't know what happened because I've never had that happen with this cream bronzer before, or just any cream bronzer. So if you notice kind of a gray cast around my skin, that's what that is. Also, someone is working out downstairs on the treadmill and they didn't know that I was still filming, so that is what you're hearing coming from downstairs. But I usually apply my cream bronzer with my foundation brush, even when it has a little bit of foundation left over. and that's never happened to me before, so I don't know what is going on, but I did try to fix it by applying a couple other bronzers over top, and it kind of helped, but I feel like you can still see a little bit of like a gray tone around the perimeter of my face, but that is the only weird thing that I noticed. I feel like everything else applied really seamlessly. I didn't experience any issues with the rest of my makeup, but I did try out this new Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Caramel Collector, and I think it looks really pretty. It does have kind of like a coffee vanilla scent. Of course, it does smell pretty artificial, but I do like the scent. And yeah, I really like this shade. It felt a little bit sticky at first, but it does feel like it dried down now. But it is now 4:50 p.m. I feel like my day just completely flew by. All right, so I'm gonna finish getting ready because I am so freaking hungry now. I'm pretty sure my husband is also very hungry. He did get home from work a couple of hours ago, so he's been waiting on me very, very patiently. So I will be back to do a check-in in a couple of hours, so I will see you then. Hey guys, so I figured I would show you how the foundation is looking in natural daylight. I am standing in front of a window in my bedroom. I don't really have any complaints. I feel like everything just looks really smooth, but I'm just gonna finish getting ready once and for all and head out the door, get something to eat, and I will check in a few hours. It's been about 7 hours now. It's almost midnight. I did try to wear this foundation for at least 8 hours, but I feel like it's just getting way too late for me. I do want to just take my makeup off, get ready for bed, and just relax. I feel like it still looks really good, especially considering that I was wearing a mask for about an hour and a half. It did rub off a little bit from wearing my mask, but I feel like it doesn't look terrible. Ignore the lipstick. I feel like that is pretty much looking terrible at this point. I'm gonna have to keep testing out the lipstick because I do really like the shade, but I feel like it was a little bit too drying and a little bit sticky, but nothing crazy. I feel like it wasn't terribly uncomfortable, but I just don't like wearing liquid lipsticks under face masks. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. But the foundation, like I said, I think looks really good. I think it held up really well throughout the day, even though it was really hot out. As far as the shade goes, I feel like it matches me pretty well, but I'm gonna have to keep playing around with the ratio of the foundation shades. But other than that, I like how it didn't sink into my smile lines too much. It didn't emphasize my texture. I think I like both sides. I don't really see that much of a difference with the prime side. I feel like this foundation is also very lightweight on my skin. I didn't really feel it throughout the day, even when it got really hot out. But yeah, I really like this foundation so far. I think it's quickly gonna become one of my favorite foundations. I know this is only the first time that I've worn it, but so far I can see myself reaching for this over and over again. But I think that about does it for this video. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I'll probably think about it as I'm editing this video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.